My name is Odongo, and I lead the team at Diacente Group, an investment company that invests in real estate and agriculture. Today, I'm going to speak about a topic which it's at heart. It is something that I've lived toward to, and that's believing that I can change the continent, I can change the world. And as young people, we can actually change the world. How many of us do believe that and have a dream that we can actually be change makers in this continent? And I'm not speaking about this I'm speaking about this reflecting from my own story. I'm standing here not just because it is by, I know someone. I grew up in the village in eastern Uganda, whereby I didn't think that I would ever have a future, because I was orphaned at a very young age when my dad passed. When, of course, you know, in Africa, our dads are usually the bread givers and providers. Then I was adopted in an orphanage. Everyone kept thinking, my mind was just the way you see this circle. And that's the mind many young people have. We live in the continent whereby there is a lot of problems, and we keep complaining every single day that I don't have job, I don't have money, but we have the energy. Every single time when I check my WhatsApp, the highest messages, people keep texting me, please Solomon, give me a job, connect me with someone, I need a job. The IMFs, the World Bank keep telling us that we are only creating 3 million jobs in the market, in an economy in Africa that needs 15 million jobs per year. So who is going to do that? I want us to realize that it's a time where there is no disparity between the African knowledge and the knowledge of the world. We are living in the time whereby we are going to be the first generation to realize globalization is not westernization. We have the power within us young people to develop and change this continent. And I'm talking about this with passion, not just because something I read, I just read about and came here to speak to you with. We are all viewed right now as a time bomb. As youth who are going to explode, we are joining, very many young people are joining different armed groups, the Al-Shabaabs and all that. But at the same time, I see ourselves as assets who are going to change this continent, who are going to create businesses, which are going to change the entire continent and the world at large. We do run an initiative with the Youth Coalition for SDGs. It's called 1 Million Youth Solutions. It is an initiative to mobilize 1 million solutions in Africa. We are done talking. We are done complaining. It's time for action. We're going to do the work, and that's the problem we have as young people. We hate doing the work. The previous speaker was talking about we just want to be paid because of availability, not productivity. And if we are going to change this continent and change the world, we need to be able to put in the work. It's very sad every time I be at the airport, I see lots of young people going to, which countries are these? Abu Dhabi, to go and clean toilets. I feel so sad to see such a productive generation flying out of this continent with a lot of opportunities to just go and clean toilets in Dubai. Guys, come on. Who is going to change the continent for us? We must wake up. We must change the narrative of the continent. No complaining. Let me tell you something. Even though governments change, even though whatever environment is, when you have not taken this upon yourself, nothing will change for you. I don't believe in complaining, and that's the type of culture we need to cultivate within young people if we are going to change this world, if we are going to change this country. It's a land of opportunities. You all know the story of cocoa in West Africa. Africa exports over 70 or produces 70% of the cocoa. The one is used to make chocolate. Chocolate is more than 100 billion industry. But we are not in the conversation of that money. Where are we? We are not creating solutions. And that's what is needed in Africa. We need to create solutions which are going to answer problems of the continent. Every time you just go around, you even pick a stone, you'll see there's a problem and create a solution and earn out of it. We need an Africa that is going to be self-sufficient, an Africa that can feed itself. And this can only be fueled by me, by you as young people. But we need to step out of our comfort zone. We need to change our mindset that it's very possible for me and you to contribute massively in this continent. Yes, we can. Yesterday, I had the privilege of speaking with the CEO of Equity Bank Group. And every time I meet this kind of people, my only question is, how did you make it? Perseverance, hard work. Sometimes I just feel that this entire continent is a burden on me, that it has to be me. I feel that it has to be me to contribute to this continent. And that's the burden we need as young people, that this is in our hands. Not government, not our parents, but we are seated. Many of us are not bothered. Are just complaining you want a job. Who is going to give you a job? Yes, there are no jobs, that's the fact, but then we need to create it. And the only way we can do that is through you starting different businesses. And that, it's very possible. And I'm just talking about this not to motivate you, but borrowing from my story. You see, I work with very many young people in different initiatives, but the work ethic of young people is lacking. And that's one of the things. We need a 24-hour working continent. You know? We need to be working for us to get out of this. We are in a recession, and it's not time for partying. Sorry, some of the things you might hate me, but I feel we need to get into a certain level for us to realize the potential of this continent. We need a certain type of energy. We need a certain type of motivation. We need a wave of young people that are going to say, no, I'm the change this country has been looking for. And that's why I started an initiative called the 1 Million Youth Africa. A movement of young people all over Africa who are determined to change the continent, to motivate us, to connect and share ideas all over the African continent. But still, that's not enough. You know, it's very funny. A moment a typical young person gets a little more money, 1 million shillings, they think about 4 things: buying a car, sleeping with a lady if you're a guy, you know, buying that expensive gadget. If we don't break this mind of poverty, we cannot raise millionaires, we cannot raise change makers in this country, in this continent. We are things which motivate us. Under the 1 million youth solutions we run in Uganda, one of the things I personally don't encourage, what type of businesses are we starting? We need to start businesses that are going to scale. I feel bad when I go on the street of Kampala and then you see young people riding borders. It's good for personal survival, but those kind of businesses are not going to solve the problems we have. A Chinese guy is going to come to Uganda, set up a factory that is going to produce products and being sold in the country, and the profits repatriated back to China. Let's try also to evaluate what type of enterprises are we starting as young people. One of the biggest nightmare this continent has in this century is jobs, lack of job. Government cannot do that. Government actually doesn't create jobs. It won't. NGOs. And the funny thing is, every time anyone tells me, no, Solomon, take me through, how do I start an NGO? I'm like, no, that's not going to be a solution to our continent. Go get a business idea and then come to me and then we discuss. Because it's scalable. We can provide job for many people. We can provide solution. And if you are seated in the audience and been thinking about, I want to start some sort of NGO to help some sort of children somewhere. That's not what we need as a continent right now. And that's how we are running a country as we are running an NGO. We cannot realize that where I put value, I expect a return on investment. We are running the continent as if we are running an NGO. In government and in very many places. And that's the mindset we need to change. We need to be an entrepreneurial generation. And that's the mindset as young people we need to achieve. Now, talk about education. The previous speaker talked about education here. Very relevant. I believe in an education whereby people are learning towards a mission, not just towards a mere paper. An example, I'm studying to solve the issue of climate change. It is an endless mission, not just a certificate that I'm going to get a degree. And that's how we need to cultivate our minds, even right now, even currently when we are still under this kind of education system. We need to see, how do we cultivate our minds that you are studying towards to solve something, not towards just a mere paper. Every time, every time we're talking to young people, they have this aspect. No, government has done this. Government hasn't done these things. Government has, you know what? Government to yambe. Guys, let's shift away from the complaining. If we are actually going to be an African generation of this century that are going to change the continent, we need to shift away from the complaint. We need to stop complaining as young Africans. We need to. And create solutions. And it's not time again we need to take action. We have a lot of speech. We talk a lot. We actually have a lot of speech. We just talk a lot and complain. No one is willing to put in the work. No one is willing to actually go and do the thing, the dirty thing. And that's the culture, and that's the drive we actually need. That's a wave of young people we need to change around this continent. And I'm just not here even to just inspire you, but to tell you, go back and work on what you have been having in your mind. You will start bad, but that is fine. That is normal. But things will work out at the end of the day. Create a network of similar minds. If you have nothing you add on me personally, I don't have business with you. Create a network of similar minds, people who think like you. It's going to be a movement, a wave. No government, no political leader can ever stop a wave of young change makers that is going to sweep this continent. And that's what we need. It is very bad for everyone saying, I want to go to US, the land of opportunities. I want to go to Dubai. You see, if we have not gone out in some of these countries, you might actually think in your mind that there are opportunities in that place. But if you have not realized that China is putting in investment, most of those European and outside countries are running back to Africa, for you are running out of Africa. Just more common sense. Where you are going, people are coming back here. Everyone is actually struggling to come back to Africa. So the opportunity is here, and it's here now, which we need to harness as young Africans. Now with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, markets are opening. If you have a business idea, you are going to be able to sell in Kenya, in Tanzania, and even sell to Nigeria. The market it's going to be the biggest market. Access to capital is improving. People are starting to realize that, these young people still need capital. What I do believe that for us to change the continent and to change the world, we need to change our mindset to be an entrepreneurial mindset. To just know that you are not just here because you just want to be available, but productive, as one of the previous speakers was talking about. We sleep a lot. We party a lot. I was talking to someone, I was like, I woke up at 12. I was like, how can you wake up at 12 yet you are broke? How do you even sleep? How? Do you even get the energy to sleep? And that's what is happening with us. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no other generation I'm happier to be part of than this generation of young Africans. I'm very much glad that I was born in this continent, that this continent lives in me, and I have the opportunity, I have the potential. So even you do have it, and you need to harness it. And it's very good that the majority audience today actually young people. And that's how you see that we are the majority in this country, in this continent. We can do this. And I do believe that, yes, we can. And it starts with me, it starts with you. Are you challenged to take Africa to the next level? Just go back and reflect on that. And you can do it, my brother and my sister. Thank you so much.